A person is recovering tonight after being shot 3 times. Good evening, I'm Adriana, Candelaria. When drivers stop at a red light, one of the first things they might do is check their phone. For 1 week now, a Brownsville native has been missing. The Edinburgh Fire Department brings a fire safety awareness to the elderly community by just playing chalupa. But this year, the atmosphere is quite different. Capitol Police increased security after a gunman opened fire on the GOP team practicing on Wednesday. It's one of the largest cases of child abductions ever in Hidalgo County. Now investigators are asking the public to keep a close eye out for 6 kids that went missing this weekend. And that, my friends, is the sound of excitement for Charro Days. All right, today is Red Nose Day, so you might have seen some people uploading pictures to Instagram and Facebook with this radiant red sphere on their nose, and that's because they're trying to end child poverty. Super Bowl performances from past years, if you want to catch up on them. I even saw one from Michael Jackson. It was, I think, from 1993. Yes.
Darn it, that was the year I missed. What about 95? Do you remember that?
An Hidalgo County Sheriff's deputy will not face a judge and jury on charges of injury to a child. Puerto Rico could become the 51st U.S. state. Thousands across the island headed to the polls Sunday. Nearly 500,000 votes were cast for statehood, according to preliminary results. The participation rate was just 23%, leading opponents to question the validity of a vote that several parties had boycotted. U.S. Congress, however, has the final say in any changes to the island's political status. Can you imagine having our flag with 51 stars?
I don't know how you'd fit the 51, but you know, there was a while America was on a roll. We were adding states right and left.
This scaly mammal will remain under observation. The zoo does not plan to have this endangered species out on display anytime soon. Wow, I had never seen one. It's kind of cute, and you know what? I'm not really a fan of scale. It's a Father's Day gift making one dad proud. The Texas Department of Public Safety saw a first. 2 sisters who went through the program and graduated together. Today is National Donut Day. Here's a little bit of history behind it. National Donut Day got its start back in 1938 when the Salvation Army used donuts to raise money during the Great Depression. It also commemorates the women who served donuts to soldiers during World War I. Now we know it as a reason to devour these round, sweet treats from some places who even give it out for free. What do you think about that, Robert? Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme, some participating locations were giving out at least 1 donut for free. Take a look at these temperatures right now. We're just about 3 degrees under 50. On the inside, it looks just like any other city bus, but it actually has more rows for about 7 other people to sit down. And when you step outside, it looks just like any other bus that you might see on the McAllen roads, but it's really what's underneath that's saving the city thousands annually. They're asking parents to monitor what their children are doing on social media because you never know who could be on the other side of the screen. Right now, gas prices in El Paso are at about $2, but we came to this gas station in central El Paso where the cheapest is $1. Veteran Keith Harris enrolled at the University of Houston thinking that he was going to get a free tuition because of the Hazelwood Act. The Plaza Theater last saw Debbie Reynolds walk through these doors back in 2010.
Apenas acabo de escuchar que usted ya vio a sus familiares que están allá. ¿Quiénes son?
Es mi hermana María, mi hermano Santos y sus hijos.
¿Hace cuánto tiempo que no los ve?
Más de 10 años.
Now imagine giving up everything you know in the U.S. and moving closer to what was once called the murder capital of the world. This is what an American couple did many years ago. Their goal was to help children in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, Mexico. Photojournalist Cesar Ruiz and I learned how this couple is giving beyond borders. It's a road of hope, one that leads to a chance for a better life.
We have children that come here for various reasons.
Here, you can't tell where the U.S.-Mexico border starts or ends. This dirt road in Juárez leads to Resplandor de Vida, radiance of life. It's a shelter for children.
Some of them come just because their mom maybe isn't able to financially take care of their situations. Maybe they don't have a home to live in.
Many children live here during the week, while mom goes out to work in maquilas or factories.
8 boys right now, it looks like are active in this room. Other children have come to us because have been sexually abused, physically abused.
For years, Gary and Terry Mathewson have brought supplies to the shelter and worked with the man who brought it to life.
This is Joaquin Estupiñan and his wife Dalia. Joaquin had the vision for a children's home.
Joaquin Estupiñan began building the shelter about 13 years ago. A man of faith, he says he always wanted children.
Me dijo Dios y me preguntó, ¿cuántos niños quieres? ¿Cuántos niños quieres? Y yo en un principio le dije, Señor, 50.
But Joaquin and his late wife weren't able to conceive.
Pasaba por las calles en los cruceros, veía niños ahí y algo en mí se movía y decía, yo quiero hacer algo por los niños.
Joaquin began feeding children. Soon, he helped 50.
Mis niños, son mis niños.
Many of the kids that are at the shelter come from colonias, neighborhoods that are on the outskirts of Ciudad Juárez.
When the children aren't in school, they're still learning at the shelter, playing instruments, making arts and crafts, and learning about God. This dorm is where boys ages 10 to 15 sleep, holding a little piece of the U.S., quilts sent from churches all across the country. And thanks to all the generosity of donors and volunteers, the kids never go to bed on an empty stomach.
Espagueti y frijolitos. Sí, rápido, desaparece todo. Lo bueno que les guste.
Joaquin says he's never gotten any economic help from Mexico. That's where he says the U.S. steps in, with volunteers like Gary and Terry, who financially support the shelter.
El área de Estados Unidos es una bendición para México.
For me, it's just been a wonderful experience getting away from the only thing we knew and having the experience of coming down to the border here and working with the people on both sides of the border. It's broken down barriers.
But the couple is moving back to New York for health reasons. They plan to keep supporting the shelter, but they're looking for someone to help transport the supplies they bring from Anthony, New Mexico.
Si Dios toca el corazón de esas personas, estamos abiertos.
And after this story aired at our sister station in El Paso, there's been many phone calls of people wanting to help the shelter. If you think you'd like to work with Resplandor de Vida, we're putting Mr. Mathewson's email address on our website, rgbproud.com.
We got a 911.
What you're about to see is a mock immigrant rescue.
Apparently they left somebody behind.
What's not fake is that Border Patrol agents are dispatched after 911 calls on a daily basis.
For Four-Star, our primary mission out here is the 911 calls.
The person over the phone usually reports that an immigrant is in danger because the journey through the border has taken a toll on their health.
We have a large number in comparison to other sectors of the deaths happening here. So we really want to focus in increasing the awareness of the dangers associated with crossing the border illegally.
Chief Padilla says in the fiscal year 2000, 1.6 million immigrants were arrested across the southwest border. Last year, that number dropped to 327,000. Despite arrests being on a historic low.
The Rio Grande Valley sector is the busiest as far as activity.
And more specifically,
our western part, starting in West Lake Oahu West, is our busiest area.
During this exercise with the media, Border Patrol agents gave us an idea of what it's like to run through the brush in Falfurrias. I can tell you firsthand that thorns from the bushes spiked me as we ran through the sweat-drenching humidity. After giving the media time to cool off, agents locked us inside of the tractor trailer for 10 minutes. The trailer had been in the sun all day, and of course, no air conditioning. For me, the room began to spin. It was hard to breathe, and while I've never fainted, I thought for a moment today would be the first time.
Vulnerable population, they put them in the back of things like this.
Border Patrol agents say it happens on the daily to find immigrants stashed in tractor trailers such as this one with no way out.
The exercise is called Walk in Their Shoes, but truly, it's hard to imagine what it would be like to stay locked inside of that heat for more than 10 minutes with no way out and putting your life in someone else's hands. Reporting in Falfurrias, Adriana, Candelaria, KBEO News Center 23. With gallons of water and blue containers, Eduardo Canales heads out to the rural areas near Border Patrol checkpoints.
These water stations are to prevent people from dying.
At least once a week, Mr. Canales will come out to the highly trafficked areas in Berks and Falfurrias counties to place water for immigrants to take along their journeys.
Each station has 6 gallons of water, but the efforts on behalf of the South Texas Human Rights Center go beyond these Red Cross flags.
We get calls from missing migrants and people that are in dire straits, that are in danger of losing their lives or they're completely lost.
Just last month, Canales helped Border Patrol agents find this missing immigrant woman right after her husband called him.
They wound up finding us, and we're able to take the information from the family.
Canales collaborates with Border Patrol to tell families across the border if their loved ones are still alive.
It still remains a difficult process for families, but at least they know that their loved one is safe and that they're not going to perish out in the brush.
This summer, Canales has noticed the traffic of immigrants is coming in through Zapata County instead of the Rio Grande Valley. Either way, he says he will continue to bridge the communication between families and federal agencies. Reporting in Falfurrias, Adriana, Candelaria, KBEO News Center 23.